right, guys, here we go again with another of our Evolution Consulting market update videos as they've come to be known. This one being recorded on the 2nd of March, 2017. It's about 5:30, just after trading hours, thankfully, because the last day or two, guys, I have searched my vocabulary far, wide, and deep to come up with a more polite or pleasant word to use to describe the last 2 days of trading, especially if you guys are long the metals ETFs. And the word I've come up with is shitty. I don't know how to put that any other way, guys, all right? And let it, if nothing else, hopefully you guys respect us. Like I said, we don't come on here and do one of these when gold's up $50 and, hey, we look like a genius for being long metals or whatever. You know, we're going to come on here either way, guys, and we're going to tell you the way it is. All right, so that being said, guys, let's talk about the obvious. Let's talk about the 800-pound gorilla sitting on the sofa, shall we? All right, and let's talk about a little bit of metals manipulation, okay? Something, especially the last couple of days, and I mean, what happened with the miners, okay, as far as metals being up and JNUG dumping and NUGT dumping and really all the mining, it wasn't just those two, but all those mining ETFs and, you know, obviously some of the individual mining equities just kind of going, okay. I've seen some in the last 48 hours, I've seen some of the funniest damn tweets about that. I mean, funny in that dark sense of humor kind of way, but funny nonetheless. Normally, I have something clever to say, but when we don't know, we say we don't know, guys, and I'm going to tell you right now, we have no idea what the hell that was all about. If we had any inclination that that was going to happen, we would have said something, okay? So, more importantly than that, and like I said, we'll tell you when we get one wrong. So, you know, did we technically get one wrong? No, it's the nature of the beast. It's the nature of trading the market. It's sure as hell not the first time anybody trading triple leveraged metals ETFs have seen that kind of stuff happen, but certainly... some people were referring to JNUG and NUGT as broken financial instruments and said, no, not technically, no, but that was bizarre, all right? And like I said, you go back and click through the playlist, it's not too many times you hear the phrase, I don't know, you know, come at me, but in that instance, guys, what the hell happened is beyond me. In terms of, and then beyond the rest of the Evolution dev team, I might add, we had more than a few conversations about that, as you might imagine. However, there is something slightly troubling about what's going on now as far as the metals manipulation and the spot pricing, okay? And it is as such. Those of you that listen to our stuff, you know we often talk about the SGE and the fact that Shanghai and Hong Kong, China, and the BRICS nations and all that, they're becoming more and more of a force in global economics and banking and finance. Nothing new there, right? But through price discovery and through other means and methods that they have, up to and including, their own version of manipulation of various currencies or the unloading of treasuries, whatever you like, okay, they have a way to support that metals price, okay? They have a way to support gold and silver spot pricing as much as they can while they're getting their infrastructure up to ultimately, which is going to lead to a global unified metals-backed currency. Okay, and that's part of what we call the consolidation of currency or the so-called newer global financial order. It's just the product of speed of information. However, there is, and we have kind of forecasted this, we really haven't mentioned it publicly. It's been for a lot of our in-office research that we've done, as well as research for some of our clients who we are tremendously thankful for, of course. But there is a cutoff point, as we like to call it, and it's not a hard and fast date. Okay, it's not to say on such and such a date A, B, or C is going to happen, okay? It's a sentiment shift. It's where you start to see the SGE and that Far East, that new banking power that's going to slowly but surely unify global economics into one tangible fixed valuation system to avert a lot of the nonsense that we're seeing, like currency devaluation and, you know, central banks supporting equity markets and investments and a million other things that I'm not going to go on here about. But there's going to come a point where the SG and the Far East and that system, there's two ways they can integrate the United States into that system. Option one, and this is the one that we forecast, especially since the Trump win, is, you know, through kind of a carefully orchestrated ballet. All right, and that does involve a dollar implosion at some point. To what extent, we don't know. I have a funny suspicion we're going to see the euro dollar go first. Certainly the way things are looking with Le Pen winning as we have so forecasted. All right, but as far as the U.S. goes, there's going to come a point where be that the Chinese, and it's not just them, but creditor nations, they're just going to go, well, what the hell do we need the United States for anyway? why don't we just, instead of doing it, according to plan, we're just going to, collapse the U.S. dollar. We're going to implode it. We're going to start unloading treasuries and U.S. dollar denominated securities. We're just going to make it rain. We're going to do this, okay? They start doing that, and they start unloading intentionally. The cataclysmic shock to the U.S. dollar and a cataclysmic shock that will have not only on the U.S. but other economies as well. That's kind of the scorched earth way of doing it. And I've often said, I've had this conversation with the dev team, so it's meaningless to you guys because we really haven't come out and said it before. Okay, is that there's a point where they're just going to go, you know what? We're not going to sit here and do this tit for tat shit every day with the gold's down $20, the COMEX, the Fed, and the you know what? Screw it, burn the whole system down. And there's definitely a point where that will happen. Not seeing support getting put under on the way down on this one at 1240, okay, 1250, those range where it was just like. That's kind of concerning to us, especially seeing some of the linguistics. Try that in English. Seeing some of the linguistics that we have. Okay, so we did want to put that out there. So it's not that, guys. And again, hopefully by now, if you've listened to enough of our stuff, or if this is the first time you're watching our stuff, gold is still money. Gold and silver is still what the new global financial currency system is going to be based on post reset. Now, whether or not that's one big one or a series of smaller ones. That we're still working on, to put it politely, but there is that inevitable reset event, okay? There has to be. I think, even if you go back and I think it was the most recent market update video we did, as a matter of fact, and we said, yip-de-doo, Dow 20,000, do the markets go higher from there? Probably, and now here we are doing this one, and Dow, we touched 21.2 or something like that. It was just... it's getting ridiculous now, and that is the very beginning of what we said. It's the beginning of a number of things, and it's not, an inflationary component only, but it's, pending that Trump speech, it's happy times are here again. It's investor confidence at an all-time high. Pile everything you got into the market, and that's where we got those numbers from, and it's really hilarious now, especially considering that years ago we made the Dow 28,000 forecast, and that was around Dow 14.7. Okay, so, again, when we do get one wrong, we're going to admit it, and we have before. VSTO, Vista Outdoors is an example. That went well. Nordstrom was another one. We're going to get them wrong once in a while, guys, all right? So to say we're wrong in the metals plays, not really. It's just one of the things that I did this particular market update video for is to say as such, guys. We are no longer going to offer forward-looking guidance on the triple leveraged Direxion duo, as we've come to call them, JNUG and NUGT. And the reason we do that is it's not because we can't, but in the interest of being responsible, okay, and sharing investment advice, which still by FINRA SEC definition is considered independent information research, okay? So we're not bound by fiduciary responsibility, but as somebody that's worked on Wall Street and somebody that's actually tried to do it the right way, all right, unless I speak to someone and I know, or one of the guys in the dev team speaks with someone and we know your individual investment tolerance for risk and the suitability of the investment is what I'm trying to say. We're not gonna suggest that you guys, that publicly anymore. Not that we're not gonna suggest that you trade it, but we're not gonna offer that forward guidance anymore because the volatility we've seen, guys, it's just a retail investment. It's a retail investor level killing machine is what it is. Seeing those wild swings like that. So if we've done it already for a couple of customers, if you want forward-looking guidance on, JNUG, NUGT, I'm not going to put USLV in that group yet, but, because we just haven't seen the real, 20, 30% ridiculous stuff we've seen out of Direxion with the two that we just mentioned already. If USLV starts him, that will put in that category, guys. The paper into metal, that works. Okay, it just does. We've proven that already. It's not hypothesis. You go look at our 2016 metals investing guide. It's not thesis. It works. But at the same time, guys, we're sharing this stuff. I'm putting this stuff on YouTube. So in the interest of just doing it the right way, if you can tolerate that risk psychologically more so than financially, because we've seen the recoveries, they're often just as quick as the dips. But if you would like forward guidance on that, we're not even going to offer it in Switch and Signal anymore. Do contact us, email us. We will do specific research after we determine that it's suitable for you. But in the meantime, guys, we are going to offer a bunch of triple leverage what the hell is wrong with me today? Single leverage ETFs, okay? So we'll be kind of swapping some stuff out of our Evolution portfolio there. And that's only in your guys' interest, okay? So that being said, though, as you can see, again, we don't do these just on days where gold is up $50 and we can go, hey, yay. You know, we try to keep you guys abreast of what's going on, up or down. Okay, and you know, maybe that's something that separates us from some other folks that are doing this. Speaking of. Something else to mention, talk about getting it right. Taser earnings. I was on the Taser conference call recently, and frighteningly enough, it sounded like we wrote it, except last year when we first recommended Taser. I mean, the linguistics and the verbiage that they used regarding Taser in the AI space, Taser in the managed solutions, managed services space, and a whole lot of other stuff. Their sales, okay, which were phenomenal. Their year over year was phenomenal. Their sequentials were phenomenal. And then down 5%, 4.5% today. You know, what the hell happened? That's another one of those plays, guys. You got to wait for it to happen. Okay. The sales and pretty much our entire forecast kind of happened there, and markets reacted like that. So that's when we can sit back, relax, and wait, and kind of think logically. Well, okay, they are the only game in town. Their managed solutions businesses are growing. The weapon sales are growing. The Axion AI and the acquisition of those two AI companies, that's a huge benefit to that company. All right, and then for those of you that listen to Dr. Janda's show, Operation Freedom, whose show I was on the 26th, so special thanks again, certainly, to Dr. Dave for having us on again. If you guys haven't listened to that interview, please do. It's kind of my ADD style of delivery there a little bit, but we tried to jam as much stuff as we could into a half hour, and I do really enjoy going on Dr. Janda's show. But nonetheless, guys, a couple of his guests, and the reason I bring it up is they were saying, well, as soon as springtime comes, there's going to be all sorts of chaos. The American spring, there's going to be the anti-Trump movements and this, that, and the other thing. Guys, that's an inevitability. That's going to happen, and that's going to be what's going to drive Taser share prices along with the rest of that sector higher, in addition to Trump's defense bill and all that kind of stuff. So that's still a very viable play. 4% doesn't. I would like to have seen it trend higher, based upon the forward guidance that they offered, which was freaking awesome. But nonetheless, guys, that's the story for Taser there. So as it pertains to our chaos plays, but again, just wanted to keep everybody updated here. You'll notice we are doing less and less of these market update videos, guys, and that is because we are just ridiculously busy here now. Okay, and I warned you guys. I said, once we're starting in now with a lot of our corporate accounts that we're working with, we're a lot quieter on Twitter now as well. It's just because we have a lot of stuff to do here, all right? So, but we're going to still try to do these once, twice a month if I can get one out. And especially, guys, with the metals ETFs, again, just keep in mind your own tolerance for risk. I've said that a million times. I'm going to say it again, especially because, again, it's one of those things where we looked up. It's the first time in a long time where we've really looked up at our whole portfolio page and really just had nothing to smile about. And it was just like a shitty day. Apart from, again, Bitcoin, the tulip bulbs in Amsterdam going to, past gold in terms of valuations, which is hilarious. But I will not even begin to get off on that, what might turn into a rant here. All right. So that being said, guys, again, if you're long those metals ETFs, there's, based upon what we've seen, is there going to be a recovery off of that? Yes, inevitably. Might it take a while? Yes, it might. But at the same time, guys, gold is still money. You got to think logically. You got to look at the catalysts that are coming up again. The French elections, what's going on in Italy, which is effectively a non-headline event, but should be, because that's another potential EU killer right there. What's going on in terms of Italy's finances, along with Greece. All right, in Germany, what's going on? I mean, there's so many catalysts lined up again, and really not much has changed. I mean, people said, well, the Fed might hike rates. The Fed could do whatever the hell they want at this point. I mean, it's gotten so far. I mean, in terms of inflation, the printing and all that, and QE 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and all that, it's just so far out of control, guys. We were kind of we had a good laugh last night. We went out to dinner, and we kind of said, well, what if the Fed hikes basis, 100 basis points? What if they hike it 100 basis points? I go, they can hike whatever the hell they want. It's just, again, I mean, to use Mr. Serrani's analogy, it's a quarter turn in a fire hydrant bolt that's been open for 6 weeks, and you're like, what's the point? The street's already flooded. So, with that being said, guys, again, just wanted to keep you guys updated with the metals, with specifically that Taser play there, because they did report earnings. And if you get a chance, listen to the transcript of the conference call. It was really kind of spooky, because it was pretty much our forecast from a year ago and why we were long Taser from down around the $15, $16 range, just in conference call format a year later. So there's that. But apart from that, guys, Another quick announcement we want to make, guys. We were way late this month on Wirehouse. As a matter of fact, it is now March, and we haven't delivered the February Wirehouse yet, and that is, we're getting ready to do that now. Okay, we've got a couple of more pieces we got to add to it, and we're going to send that out. So you will get a March one as well as a February one. We apologize about it being late, but like I said, we just have a hell of a lot of stuff going on. And as it pertains to us sharing information publicly anymore, guys, that may be coming to an end soon, okay? And that is only because that's all on me doing this, okay? So as we start to work with more and more, corporate level and other, business level or project specific kind of things, if I can't do this kind of stuff, properly, I'm not going to do it at all. So with that being said, guys, we'll keep you posted on that, but the public information sharing may be coming to an end because it's too much on me. So it is what it is, as they say. But hopefully thus far you guys have enjoyed it. We got a whole bunch of new customers, oddly enough, and they are truly, truly brilliant, as I suspected most of Evolution's customers would be. They know who they are, and they, again, trade in the metals ETFs and, looking at some cool mining plays and stuff like that. So you guys have been great. But with that being said, guys, as always, if you would like to contact us, it is usually somewhere over there. Where the hell is it? Can something please go right today? There it is. Info@Evolutionconsulting.world. Info@Evolutionconsulting.world. If you do wish to email us, or if you wish to follow us on Twitter, we are not nearly as active on there as we used to be, guys, and that's no reflection upon our Twitter followers, who are all very cool, but just we don't have the time for it anymore. So, but if you would like to follow us, occasionally we do go off there on a diatribe or a rant. It's at Evo Consultants, at that thing, Evo_Consultants. Also, 2 more Grant Street Notes guides going up, hopefully this week, possibly next week. We want to get those all up for sale so you guys can pick and choose depending upon the sectors that you're interested in, guys. And having spoken with the dev team, at the very least, guys, even if we stop sharing info publicly the way we've been doing now, we still will do the Grant Street Notes series. We did it this year. We'll probably do it next year and the year after that. So, because those I can sit down in, January, really November, December, January, I can sit down and compile all those. So then you guys have those for the whole year. So that being said, again, guys, as always, do be good. And do remember that everything really is a transaction.